You know, life has this unique way of teaching us lessons in the most unexpected ways. Sometimes it doesn't come with applause. Sometimes it doesn't come with love or validation or even understanding. Sometimes it comes with silence, with rejection, with the feeling of being unwanted, unseen, or unloved. And in those moments, we all ask ourselves, why me? What did I do wrong? Why wasn't I enough? But let me tell you something, being rejected is not the end of your story. It's just the beginning of another chapter. If you are rejected, accept it. Don't fight it, don't chase it, don't drown in it. Acceptance doesn't mean weakness. Acceptance means strength, because when you accept what is not yours, you free yourself to reach for what is truly meant for you. Rejection is simply life's way of redirecting you to something better, something bigger, something you didn't even know you deserved. And if you ever find yourself unloved, let go. Do not beg for love. Do not shrink yourself just to fit into someone else's idea of what love should be. You are not meant to be tolerated. You are meant to be celebrated. The right kind of love does not ask you to compromise your worth, your identity, or your dignity. Letting go is not losing. Letting go is choosing yourself. It's standing tall and saying, I deserve better. I deserve love that fills me, not drains me. I deserve respect that lifts me, not silence that breaks me. So don't hold on to what rejects you. Don't chase what doesn't choose you. Don't beg for what doesn't value you. Walk away with your head held high, because the most powerful thing you can ever do is love yourself enough to let go of what doesn't. Remember, this rejection is not a definition of your worth. Unloved does not mean unlovable. Sometimes rejection is simply protection. Sometimes love leaves so that the right love can arrive. So if you are rejected, accept it. If you are unloved, let's go. And while the world doubts you, you hold on to the one thing that will never let you down, yourself. Rejection is redirection, not a definition of your worth. Yet most of us, when we first experience rejection, allow it to sink so deep into our hearts that it becomes a label we carry. It feels like someone has looked at us and said, "You are not good enough." And that thought lingers long after the moment has passed. But rejection, if you really pause and look at it, is not about your worth. It's about alignment. It's about the places, the people, the opportunities that weren't meant to hold you, no matter how much you wished they did. Every single rejection is actually life whispering, not here, not now, not this. Keep moving forward. Think back to every time you felt rejected. Maybe it was in love. Maybe it was in your career. Maybe it was in a friendship. It stung, it left you questioning yourself. But what came after? Often, if you look back honestly, you'll see that something else came into your life that fit you better. Something that matched who you were becoming, not who you used to be. And if you hadn't been pushed away from that old situation, you would have been stuck, holding on, believing that was all you deserved. Rejection pushes us to discover the depths of our resilience. It teaches us that worth is not a currency that others hand to us. Worth is what we decide we already have, regardless of who accepts or rejects us. When someone says no to you, it doesn't mean you are less valuable. A closed door doesn't mean you don't deserve an open one. It simply means that door wasn't yours to walk through. Yet so many of us waste years trying to break down closed doors, trying to prove to people who walked away that we should have been chosen. But what if you took that energy and redirected it? What if instead of questioning why they didn't choose you, you asked yourself where life is trying to lead you next? Rejection is not about you being unworthy. It's about a place or person being unfit for your journey. The problem is we internalize rejection. We mistake it for truth when in reality it's just perspective. One person's rejection of you doesn't define your entire identity. Just because one company didn't hire you doesn't mean you're unemployable. Just because one person didn't love you doesn't mean you are unlovable. Just because one opportunity slipped away doesn't mean opportunities have dried up. Rejection only defines you if you hand it the pen. And you don't have to. You can take back that pen and write a new meaning for yourself. Look at the greatest stories of resilience around us. Almost every successful person has a list of rejections in their past that could have broken them. They were told no, they were told they weren't ready, they were told they didn't belong. But what they understood, whether in that moment or later, was that each rejection was simply redirecting them toward a path that would make more sense. They didn't let no become the period at the end of their sentence. They let it become a comma. They kept writing. They kept moving. They trusted that the rejection was clearing space for something greater. Rejection can even be protection. Sometimes what you thought you wanted so badly would have actually hurt you, drained you, or kept you from growing. Life, in its wisdom, sometimes closes doors for your own good, even when your heart doesn't understand why. You might not see it immediately, but later, with perspective, you realize that rejection was saving you. It was protecting you from smaller versions of yourself, smaller opportunities, smaller love. It was ensuring you wouldn't settle when you were destined for more. But to reach that understanding, you have to shift your lens. You have to stop seeing rejection as a mirror reflecting your flaws and start seeing it as a compass pointing you in a new direction. This doesn't mean rejection won't hurt. It always stings. It always carries a little ache. But the difference is in how you interpret it. If you see it as the end, you'll sit in that ache forever. If you see it as guidance, you'll rise, brush yourself off, and walk with even more clarity toward what is waiting for you. There's a certain dignity in accepting rejection with grace. It's not about pretending it doesn't hurt. It's about refusing to let it chain you to a place you don't belong. Acceptance gives you freedom. When you stop fighting rejection, you start opening your hands to receive new possibilities. You stop wasting your energy on convincing someone to choose you and start investing your energy into choosing yourself. That shift changes everything. It reminds you that your value was never up for negotiation. Rejection doesn't shrink your worth. It simply redirects your path. The no you hear today is not life denying you. It's life guiding you. Every rejection is making space for what is right, what is aligned, what is truly yours. And one day, when you arrive at that place where you're fully seen, fully valued, fully celebrated, you'll look back and realize every rejection was actually a gift wrapped in disguise. Acceptance is strength. What is not yours is not meant for you. Yet in life, we keep trying to hold on to things that slip through our fingers. We convince ourselves that if we just tried harder, if we just proved more, if we just became a little different, then maybe, just maybe, the outcome would change. But real strength does not lie in chasing. Real strength lies in standing still and saying, "This is not mine, and I will not force it to be." Acceptance is one of the hardest lessons because it asks us to surrender. It asks us to stop negotiating with reality. It asks us to stop fighting what has already been decided, and that feels like giving up, but it's not. It's actually the bravest act of self-respect you can practice. Think about how often we waste time in denial. We replay moments in our minds, analyzing every word, every action, wondering if we could have shifted the outcome. But the truth is, no amount of replaying can change the result. What is not meant for you will never stay, no matter how tightly you grip it. And what is truly meant for you will find its way, even if you try to push it away. Acceptance is about learning to trust this rhythm of life, even when it doesn't align with our immediate desires. It is about understanding that not everything you want is meant to be yours, and not everything you lose is truly a loss. When you accept something is not yours, you create space for what is. It's like clearing out a cluttered room. You can't invite anything new in if you're holding on to everything old. But so many of us resist clearing. We cling to what is familiar, even when it hurts us, because letting go feels too final. Yet acceptance is not finality, it's freedom. It's opening the door and allowing life to bring in the people, opportunities, and experiences that fit you better, the ones that align with your soul instead of weighing it down. Strength is not measured by how tightly you can hold on, it is measured by how gracefully you can let go. It takes courage to say, "This job is not mine, This relationship is not mine. This friendship is not mine. This path is not mine. It takes courage to look rejection in the face and not translate it into inadequacy. It takes courage to stop chasing love that is not reciprocated, recognition that is not offered, opportunities that are not meant for you. Strength lies in the quiet confidence that what is yours cannot be taken, and what is not yours is not worth the fight. Acceptance also teaches patience. Sometimes what you want desperately right now isn't denied, it's just delayed. Life doesn't operate on your timeline. You may want something at 20 that you won't be ready to hold until 30. And in that waiting, the rejections and detours are actually shaping you into the person who will be capable of carrying what you asked for. If you refuse to accept the waiting, you'll exhaust yourself fighting the timing of life. But if you accept it, you'll find peace in knowing that nothing that is meant for you will ever miss you. Acceptance does not mean lowering your standards. It does not mean settling for less. It means acknowledging reality as it is instead of how you wish it to be. It means seeing clearly without illusions. It means refusing to be trapped by what if and instead embracing what is. When you accept, you shift from resistance to flow. You stop wasting energy on what has slipped away and start investing energy in what is still possible. That is strength, channeling your spirit toward growth instead of bitterness. People often mistake strength for control. They think being strong means bending life to your will, never backing down, never surrendering. But true strength is not in control, it's in surrender. It's in having the humility to admit that some things are beyond you, some people will not stay, some doors will not open. It's in trusting that life is wiser than your plans. Strength is in aligning with that wisdom instead of fighting against it. It's in saying, I will not chase what runs, I will not beg what withholds, I will not cling to what hurts. I will stand here, whole, even without what I thought I needed. Acceptance also frees you from self-blame. When something doesn't work out, the first instinct is to assume you failed. Maybe you weren't attractive enough, smart enough, talented enough, worthy enough. But when you embrace acceptance, you realize that it was never about your worth. It was about fit. It was about timing. It was about paths that weren't meant to cross forever, and suddenly you stop carrying unnecessary guilt. You stop punishing yourself for outcomes you couldn't control. You start seeing that walking away from what isn't yours doesn't make you weaker, it makes you wiser. There is dignity in acceptance. There is quiet power in being able to bow out gracefully when something is not meant for you. It's not about apathy, it's about integrity. It's about not lowering yourself to chase what diminishes you. It's about refusing to shrink into someone else's idea of worth just to be chosen. Acceptance keeps you aligned with your true self instead of bending into versions that aren't authentic. And in that alignment, you find peace. When you master acceptance, you no longer fear loss in the same way. You understand that every ending is also a beginning. You understand that nothing that belongs to you will ever pass you by. You understand that your worth is not dictated by external validation, but by the quiet, unshakable knowing inside you. And in that knowing, you stop being afraid of rejection, of abandonment, of failure. You carry yourself with calm assurance, because you know that whatever leaves was not yours, and whatever is yours will stay.